Potentia Wealth brings you the Power of Wealthness podcast.
Money touches nearly every part of our lives, our choices, our relationships, our opportunities, and often our peace of mind. Yet for many people, financial decisions can feel overwhelming, especially during seasons of change. Whether navigating a divorce, losing a spouse, or managing sudden responsibility, even handling the complexity of executive compensations, the right guidance can make all the difference. Our guest today is Shannon Corpuz, a new member of the Potentia Wealth team. Her passion is helping clients feel confident in their financial lives by bringing clarity to complex decisions. With more than a decade of wealth advisory experience and 25-year background in human resources, along with a master's degree in ethical leadership, Shannon brings a rare combination of technical knowledge, emotional intelligence, and real-world perspective. Today, we'll talk about confidence, transitions, leadership, and how proper planning can create not just wealth, but wealthness. Shannon, welcome to the Power of Wealthness.
Thank you for having me, Kevin. So happy to be here.
Tell us about how you got here. You've got a lot of years in HR and in the industry, but what brought you here?
What brought me to Potentia specifically?
No, what brought you to the industry?
Oh, what brought me to the industry? Happenstance. I started in a business operations / HR role. And so I was doing that side of the business. And some clients that I knew worked at the firm that hired me. And unbeknownst to me, the owner had asked them what they thought about me because they knew me. And they said, well, if you want anything done, you go to Shannon. So I was hired. And from there, I just learned all that I could. I've always had an affinity for finance, but I started out my career in HR. And so that's just what I kept building on. But always was drawn to it. I bought my first house at 26 and, sold and bought another one and sold and bought another one. So I've always had an understanding for real life finance and kind of how things work and wanted to learn more. So I just took the opportunity working in a financial firm to learn all that I could from the advisors and everyone. And when the opportunity arose for me to step into a position, I jumped at it.
Yeah. If I were a real estate agent, I would want you as a client with all the buying and selling that you do.
Yes. Yes.
So you started in operations,
Mm-hmm.
and then you made the transition over to working with clients.
Correct.
Why? What triggered that?
Well, I was already working with clients, but in a different capacity. I had been working with them for several years, so I already felt very close to them, very attached. We were already really good friends, and some of them even felt like family members to me. I remember the day that I got my master's degree, and a dear client friend was in the office, and I told her, and my mom had recently passed, and she said, Shannon, your mom is so proud of you. And I'm proud of you. And I was just like, oh my gosh, thank you. Trying not to cry. But yeah, just those relationships, wanted to keep serving those wonderful people, but in a capacity where I could really make a difference in their lives and make some meaningful change.
Tell me about that. When you're having an impact in people's lives, how does that make you feel, and what is it you're doing to really have that impact for them?
I think it makes people feel fulfilled on so many levels when you are empathetic, when you're compassionate, and you understand at not only an emotional level, but truly a psychological level, how people are feeling, and you know their backstory, you know why they're feeling this way or why they're in this situation. And understanding will help you to create a plan or help you to create a path forward for them, and work with them as well to understand that you've got a plan for them, and they've got options, and they've got a path forward.
Yeah. After over a decade in working in this industry as a senior financial advisor, you've recently joined Potentia Wealth. Welcome.
Thank you.
Why? What is it that attracted you to Potentia?
Well, hands down, the people, right? It's all about people and good people. I wanted to work at a small firm. I wanted to work with good people, and I wanted to work with a firm that aligned with my values of putting people first and putting the client first. And I found that in Potentia.
Nice. You often speak about helping clients feel confident. Uh, what does financial confidence really mean?
Well, it's understanding, right? It's knowledge. Knowledge is clarity, and understanding something, whether it's a financial term or financial concept or a financial plan, is clarity, right? And that once you have that clarity and that understanding, you don't have that stress or that uncertainty or that fear of the unknown. So that is what makes people confident in where they are now, where they are going to be. And I think offering them a way to get there, having them or showing them how they're going to get there, just gives them that understanding and that peace of mind that they need.
What life transitions for your clients require the financial guidance that you provide?
Oh gosh, every life transition, having a baby, getting married, buying your first house, um, building your wealth with your first job, your 401k, contributing to retirement plans, in addition to your 401k, retiring. That's the huge one, right? That's such a huge transition for people to go from working and building all their wealth to not working and using that wealth to enjoy their lives. Such a huge transition. So every transition, every different stage of life, there's a change and a different need for your financial plan.
Yeah. You talk about a financial plan. Is that something that you use with many of your clients?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Usually when I meet with a client or a prospect, it all starts with a plan. And we take a look at where that person is right now. And we talk about values. And that once we get values defined, then that moves us into goals. And once the goals are defined, we can take a look at where they want to be or where they need to be to reach those goals that they so want to have either 10, 20, 30 years down the road. And once we have that in place, we can work on a plan that shows them what they need to do to get to where they want to be.
Yeah. You work with a lot of newly single or independent investors. Why is that important to you?
People who are suddenly single really have a big place in my heart because, well, there's many reasons, but the first one is generally in the older generations, it's changing now, but in the older generations, women were left out of the loop when it comes to finances, right? The man would handle the finances. She wouldn't have any idea what's going on. And then if he passed away or there was a divorce, she didn't know what to do, right? And there's so many women, so many clients out there that I've met that have experienced that. And that fear is just debilitating, that fear of the unknown and not understanding not having that clarity and having all this uncertainty is so stressful and causes so much anxiety. I don't want anyone to feel that way, right? I've been in a place of anxiety before. You've been in a place of anxiety. It's not fun. I don't want people to feel that way. I don't, especially a woman who's in that position. I can relate to that. So I am big on financial literacy, and that's where I try to start with explaining just the basics, right? This is a stock. This is a bond. This is how they function in the market. This is how the market works. And just build on that basic understanding until they have a certain comfort level. And then once they have that, then what I'm presenting in terms of a way forward, or where you can be in 5 or 10 years, or where you can be in 20 years with what you have or what you're going to have, brings confidence, because they understand now and they feel like, okay, now I have a future. But honestly, I just don't want anyone, male or female, to feel that way. It's just such a terrible place to be.
What are some of the common fears or misconceptions that people going through those transition periods in their lives have?
Well, a lot of them are so fearful because they don't understand that they just get stuck, right? Inaction takes over, and it's too stressful for them. It's just too much, too overwhelming for them to think about these things, right? So they just don't do anything. And then they listen to their friends, they listen to their family, and we all know that they're not the expert, right? They're not the professional. So, and emotional decision making, right? You're going to make a decision because your friend told you so, and you trust your friend. You think your friend's a good person. Your friend's got, a decent life. So, okay, all right, I'll make that decision. Or, I'm just too overwhelmed right now. I just feel better when I don't think about it. So I just won't do anything because it makes me feel better.
Yeah. You're doing a lot of personal coaching along with the financial advising, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah. Definitely. Education is key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can someone begin rebuilding from that, building not only the confidence, but also their finances? What are you doing to help them with that or through that process?
Since you talk about the personal coaching, what I think I've used in the past and what I share with others is personal affirmations, to use those every day. Physical activity really helps every day. So there's physical and psychological things, positive self-talk that helps. And then, of course, education. Just take a look at what your finances look like, where the gaps are, what you need to do to get your financial house in order, work with a professional to do that, and to decrease that fear of the unknown, and take things in really, really small bites, because it's so overwhelming. Just break it down into chunks. Just work on one little piece a day or one little piece a week, whatever you need to do. And that seems to be much more manageable for people.
Sometime in the near future, can we schedule an appointment? Because I need to break down my big problems into little tiny chunks.
Yes, absolutely. Sure.
I could use some consulting.
Sure. Come into my office.
You also advise to corporate executives, and you're familiar with RSUs and IPOs and compensation packages and things like this. Tell me about that experience.
So that's really interesting, because in Silicon Valley, there's so many people that have concentrated stock positions. I wouldn't say most of these people don't. I wouldn't say there's a problem, but some of them struggle with overconfidence, right? And they may not consult a professional because he or she thinks, hey, I know I'm pretty smart. I think, I can do this, right? So that may lead to some bad financial decisions or staying in a very risky position. Some other things I've seen is, just not knowing that a financial professional has tools and has strategies that they can tap into and take advantage of to mitigate risk in their very risky positions, right? And it depends on what they want to do, right? It depends on if they want to hold stock, if they want to protect it, if they want to earn income from it. It really just depends on what they want to do.
How are you helping these executives align the short-term goals, particularly return expectations or paying less taxes, with their longer-term goals, which may be in not in alignment with
Their short term.
with the short term?
Yeah. Well, I think explaining to them that we have to take a long-term focus. That's how the market works. That's how finance works. It's all long-term. It's not short-term. Making quick, reactive, emotional decisions based on a trend or something that you heard from a friend or something that you heard on Yahoo Finance is not the way to go. That's a way to get yourself for sure in trouble.
You earned your master's degree in ethical leadership, which is interesting, first. And second, how has that played a role in your job as a financial advisor?
Yeah, going back, I always wanted to get my master's. I didn't want an MBA. I thought, okay, everybody has an MBA. I wanted something different. I wanted something where I could make some or learn how I can make some meaningful change in this world. And oh gosh, the story still gets to me now. And I don't know if we want to really get into the weeds, but my mom had just passed away and she had always told me, Shannon, get a degree, Shannon, get a degree, get a degree. And I'm the youngest in the family. And I listened to her and I got my degree and I was the first. In fact, I was the first in my family to ever graduate from college. So first generation, and in my husband's family as well. So very meaningful. And so when I was looking for a master's program, it was about the same time that my mom had had a stroke. And she was in the hospital for about a month. And we had to make that terrible decision to let her go. And a few days after that, I was at work and this, I guess, ad popped up at Claremont Lincoln University Graduate School about their different types of master's programs. And I saw this one for ethical leadership and I went, okay, this is it. This is it. So I talked to them and they said, well, I think this was in December. And they said, get your application in before Friday and we'll see what happens. So I pulled an all-nighter, did my application, and also did an application for a scholarship and got them in and got both. And I was just like, thanks, Mom. Thank you so much. So yeah, that was pretty meaningful to me. But the reason I chose ethics is because my background in HR, I've worked in so many different industries, Department of Defense, nonprofit, high tech, and so many different companies. And I've worked with all kinds of people. And yeah, every once in a while, you'll run into some toxic leaders. And I had a very bad experience with groupthink and not my personal relationship with the toxic leader, but just how it affected the culture of the company and how it affected the team. And it was really hard for me to leave. And I just told myself, I really want something so I can better understand how this works, this psychological phenomenon where toxic leaders just take control of people and people just do what they say and they can't leave and their identity gets wrapped up in it. Anyway, I wanted to understand that. And so that's why I took that. And I wanted to make sure that I understood what it meant to be an ethical leader. So when I moved into the world as a leader, that I could move in the way that I felt was appropriate and as someone who could be trusted, had integrity, had clear values, and other people could look up to.
Yeah. You are a female advisor in a male-driven world. What's that experience like?
When I first started, I said, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing here?" And I remember Kevin Cruiser. I was talking to him. He's our wholesaler from J.P. Morgan, and he said, "Shannon, you're right where you're supposed to be." And I'll never forget that. Really appreciated that. But yeah, I think about that a lot. It can be tough, and so that's why people matter, right? Where you choose to work matters. You want to work somewhere where the people are supportive, where the people are good people, and the people have big hearts for clients and for their employees. You want to be respected. You don't want to be disrespected. And there's so much disrespect for women out there in the finance world. And I've dealt with it firsthand, and it's not fun. So I wanted to be somewhere where there was no chance of that, where people were not that way at all and wouldn't treat each other that way at all.
Yeah. As a female professional, do you think you bring a different perspective to your clients than, say, a male professional?
I think so. Yeah. Women deal with a lot of different struggles than men. Generally, they're raising the kids and working. Generally, not all the time. But generally, they're juggling the kids and the activities and the homework at night and making dinner and getting them out of the house. So it's just a whole different ball game than it generally is for a man. So yeah, I can relate. I can relate to the women. They can relate to me. We can talk about not only finance, but life struggles, and we can support each other in lots of different ways.
In the Power of Wealthness, we spent a lot of time talking about wealth and health and wellness. And there's a lot of connection there when it comes to women in that sandwich generation where you're taking care of the children and the parents. And being able to provide that guidance is really important.
It is. And we've touched on it already, but the lack of understanding or the fear of the unknown, that breeds stress and anxiety, right? So when you know where you are financially, when you know where you're going financially and where you want to be financially, that relieves all of that stress. When your financial house is in order and you have confidence in yourself and in your financial plan, then you have confidence to take on the world.
Tell me about your family, speaking of taking on the world.
Okay. I have 4 kids and a grandbaby. Oldest is 33, and she's in Ione, like Jackson area, Sierra Foothills. And I have a daughter who is just turned 30 on the 27th of April, so just a couple days ago. She's in Long Beach. She went away to school to Long Beach and just stayed there, never came home. I have a son that's 26, and he's in West LA, and he's in film. And I have my baby, who's 19 and just went away last August to Long Beach. So those three are all in the same area and all could be together and help each other.
So you're an empty nester.
I am an empty nester. Yes, it's very sad. I never thought I would be, I would want all my kids to be home, but I really, really do.
You say it's sad. I remember we dropped my oldest daughter off at college, and she was at San Jose State, which literally was a 20-minute drive from our home at the time. And within an hour or so after we had dropped her off, I hear this sobbing coming from one of the bedrooms. And I walk in to find my wife on my daughter's bed, FaceTiming her, just crying. I'm like, just close the computer and drive over and see her. So
it's harder than you think it's going to be. It really is. You think, oh my gosh, thank goodness, I can't wait until I have the house to myself and I can do all these things. And you miss it terribly.
So what do you do for fun outside of work?
Now that I have my life back.
Now that you have a life that isn't focused on your children.
No. Oh, I don't think my life will ever be not focused on
Amen to that.
children.
Yeah.
So I founded a women's network where local professionals can come together and learn and grow and mentor each other. And we do a lot of not only fun activities and social activities together, including golf and bocce and trivia. We just did a trivia night last night. But we also do some educational events as well. I've had a couple subject matter experts come and talk to the group. So yeah, we have a lot of fun and we help each other and we stick together, and that really keeps me busy along with work.
Yeah.
Through that, I've gained this huge, I'm not going to say following because it's not a following. It's just a network of friends, right? So a network of friends who are, some are women, some are men, some are moms, some are not. But we all are there for each other. And that's so, so important in this crazy, crazy world.
Yeah. Community is number one.
It really is. It really is.
All right. No pressure on this one. Your job is not on the line, but what does the power of wealthness mean to you?
It means, in one word,
I'll even allow you two.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, the first word that comes to mind is empowerment, right? Because you have the power over your health and your well-being, right? So that's the first word. But to get there, I think financial literacy comes into play. And we as professionals have a duty, right? We have an obligation to make sure that our clients understand what types of products we're presenting, how these things work, and how we can put things together into a plan for them to give them a future that they not only understand, but they believe in. So the power of wealthness is us helping others to create confidence in themselves and in their future.
Yeah. If you walk into our lobby, we've got a large saying up on the wall that we are empowering our clients to live their lives confidently.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, that's just
exactly what it is.
Said.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Thank you for being on the podcast. It's nice to get to know you better.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Welcome again to Potentia.
Thank you.
Shannon, thank you for sharing your story and perspective with us today. Your approach reminds us that great financial advice, it's not just about the numbers. It's about helping people move through life with confidence, clarity, and purpose. If today's conversation encouraged you or helped you think differently about your own financial future, we invite you to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with someone who may benefit from hearing it. And as always, remember to be proactive, be prepared, and look out for one another. Until next time, be the power of wealthness.
Thank you for listening to the Power of Wealthness podcast. Click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit our website at potentiawealth.com or give us a call at 408-288-7886. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Potentia Wealth or Potentia RIA. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning. Investment advice offered through Potentia RIA LLC, a registered investment advisor.